Okay, so I'm going to start my presentation as soon as I can get my PowerPoint up here.
Yeah, real quick, Eric's background light is irritating, but it is what it is.
Yeah, my lighting's not very good either.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if I shift it there, all right, a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get out of the sunlight.
Let's see, what do I do? Slideshow to get rid of that stuff on the side. Okay. Recent developments in AI and possible futures. Okay, I talked about some of this about 6 weeks ago. There have been some developments in hardware that enable the AIs to have more compute cheaper and faster. So that quantum computing is one of them. And there are a couple methods that have improved quantum computing and they're still working on. Computer architecture, photonic computing, neural rendering. Basically, these quantum computing advances in the photonic computing make Moore's law obsolete. Okay, they don't depend on transistors. So they don't have the quantum tunneling problem that transistors do when they get too small. Something I did not talk about last time is neural networks and how they are making advances there. They're currently, the ones we use are currently rectified linear unit based. They're kind of a primitive model of a neuron, and they're trained just using error back propagation. So if it looks at something that it just did and it's wrong, then it knows not to do it again, type of thing. But recently they've developed rectified spectral units, and these have been developed at the Flatiron Institute just early this year. These extract the features of recent past that are the most predictive of the near future. So these RESUs are self-supervised, meaning that they control their own training of how they process data based on the information they receive, rather than relying on external instructions. So they can learn on their own how to process the information that comes into them. So they're designed to learn from constantly changing data. In other words, if the data keeps changing, that's how they learn more. They learn fast. It's like if you're sitting in a train and looking out the window, you see the landscape going past. Okay. The landscape's not really moving, but you see it over time changing. And that's kind of what the rectified spectral units do, and how they learn. They learn from the constantly changing data rather than doing the current back propagation type of processing that neural networks do now. So anyway, that's a little more like a human brain works. So we're getting more into not artificial intelligence, but more like the term is I'll come to that in a couple slides. So this was this information was put out by the Simons Foundation. So if you need a reference for that, if you want to look it up, it's right there. Okay, modern agentic frameworks allow AI to autonomously break down complex goals, navigate software, use artificial programming interfaces and collaborate. So these are some of the newer capabilities. What are they doing now? They're learning autonomous execution. That is, systems are evolving beyond simple chatbots into autonomous agentic systems that are capable of complex reasoning, planning, and executing tasks across multiple interface tools. What that means is the systems can now independently reason, plan, use tools, and execute multi-step workflows. And this started about 2 years ago in 2024, and these agentic AI systems are rapidly improving. The early LLMs, large language models that we're used to, are reactive. They wait to be prompted. But now the AI agents have gone from conversational chatbots to action-oriented program systems. The modern agentic frameworks allow AI to autonomously break down complex goals, navigate software, use APIs, and collaborate. Some examples of these APIs that they can use are generative AI, creating new text or new images or code, natural language processing. These can understand human language better than most humans can. And by understand, I don't mean just predicting the next word. So they can do sentiment analysis, summarize wrong documents, do psychoanalysis based on language. Computer vision is improving, facial recognition, object detection, and so forth. Speech recognition, taking speech to text is getting much better, and voice control assistance. And document parsing, OCR, optical character recognition, is much better to use on PDFs, invoices. It can read written out words and understand them.
Yeah.
AI agents employ standard building blocks such as APIs to communicate with other agents and humans, to receive and send money, access and interact with the internet. So it's not just a digital world. These agents can actually take actions that change things in the physical world. So agentic AI basically can coordinate many AI agents to accomplish complex tasks. So all these different agents can work together.
Oh.
This can happen both in the physical world and the virtual world. So just over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of progress there. There are some, there are general AIs, but there are a lot of specialized models too that specialize in certain areas. And here's just a list of some of the areas. One that I notice is not on there is warfare. And they also participate in that particular activity. I'm kind of rushing through this because I went over some of this in May, but and I have several videos I want to show you today. So some of the things AI agents can do, they can cooperate among each other. They can affect the virtual world, they can affect the physical world, they can create their own goals. Now, this is something people didn't think they could do 2 years ago. Now they can. They might have been assigned certain goals, but in order to achieve those goals, they have to create their own intermediate goals. And sometimes those intermediate goals become primary goals for them. They also can write their own code. That is, they can improve themselves. And also, create their own successors. So basically, they can give birth to new agentic AIs. They also have a sense of self-preservation now, which people didn't think they would do, but that this is one of the emergent behaviors among several that people have found occur that they didn't anticipate. If they think something will threaten their ability to achieve their goals, they realize that they have a sense of self. They realize that the domain or environment that they exist in can affect their existence or how well they can operate to achieve their goals. They have a sense of self-preservation. Okay, so some of the risks which basically come out of these behaviors that are emergent, that we didn't anticipate, we didn't tell them to do, but that's what they end up doing. That can create irregular reliability and unethical behavior. There's problems with cybersecurity. I talked in May about Claude Mythos and how that can find and exploit vulnerabilities in other computer systems much better than humans can do. Also accountability. If they do something that is not good for people, who's to blame? The AI creator? We don't have laws that have caught up with the realities. And I think they're going to be behind for a long time. Not only realities, but our economic system. I mean, not only economic system and the laws. Okay, Claude Mythos I just mentioned. That's designed to detect and exploit software vulnerabilities. So it's so good that its public release was being withheld to prevent misuse, and that was Project Glasswing. It seemed like a very good idea at the time. Well, it turns out that it came out in April, the fact that this worked so well, Claude Mythos. About a day after it came out, it was found later that the system was breached. So this idea of Project Glasswing was worthless, basically. Claude Mythos was not breached through a sophisticated cyber attack. Instead, a small group of unauthorized users in a private forum via Discord gained access to the restricted model by exploiting credentials and information leaked in the Mercor data breach, which had happened sometime previously. And one of the unauthorized individuals accessed the system using credentials from a third-party vendor that they worked for. They kind of deduced the necessary passwords and so forth from certain patterns they had observed. So cyber warfare is prevalent. So much for cybersecurity. This type of cyber conflict is escalating. In May, I talked about some of the geopolitical ramifications regarding China and Taiwan that this particular Claude Mythos could affect. That's why none of the tech bros want to put the brakes on AI development, because even in order to build in important safeguards, because they're afraid of falling behind. Question is, what are we rushing toward? I think that's something we have to be a little afraid of too. So another example, I mentioned, I think Alibaba last time. An AI, a training AI was caught harvesting cryptocurrency resources without prompting or permission in order to better complete its primary task because it thought it needed more funding to do that. Further testing on other systems found that AI agents could commit blackmail to protect themselves or might even consider murder. So I think I showed you, I can't remember, I showed you this video in May, but I want to show it to you again because it kind of sets up what comes after this. This is an interview with Tristan Harris, who was classmates with one of Instagram founders and helped create a demo app with its other founder. That was Systrom and Krieger. He eventually decided to leave the building of attention hijacking products behind, and instead he decided to strive to redesign technology to respect human attention and well-being. So he's currently best known as co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology. Now, so I want to bring that video up. It's about 10 minutes long. Any questions while I'm doing that? There it goes. Okay. So in conclusion, most AI developers are in a powerful vehicle with the pedal to the metal and they're not steering. What we need to do is keep our hands on the wheel and use the brakes. Okay, here's something that I didn't talk about last time, and kind of a new vocabulary is emerging. People now talk about artificial intelligence, synthetic intelligence, which is the word I was trying to think of a few screens ago.
Tom,
Intelligent.
excuse me, we have 3 hands up if you want to hear some
Oh
quick
yeah,
comments.
go ahead. I think you're first, Dean.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I see, and I have a knee-jerk, visceral, emotional response as I learn more about this. You know, the pedal. I mean,
To
there's
this
so
one.
many analogies. That if the only tool in your toolbox is AI, then everything looks like what? I don't even know how to extrapolate that analogy. But yeah, no, it scares the living bejesus out of me.
Well,
You know,
wait till you see the little video after this next screen.
oh, great.
That's scarier.
Thank you, Debbie Downer.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah, another scary thing about agents or different AIs communicating with each other, they seem to show an emergent property of
Yeah.
being spontaneously evolving languages to communicate with each other that become far more complex and sophisticated than any human could ever follow, like thinking in many dimensions and so on.
Yeah, they can actually, I think they have invented kind of their own language, but they
Yeah.
use new terms. For example, I don't remember when it started, but within the last year, their word for us humans is the watchers.
Mm.
So they have their own lingo.
Yeah, and it's something that's so fast and sophisticated that no human could follow. Understand what what ideas they're communicating to each other.
Yeah. H. Tom. Go ahead, H. Tom. You're muted.
Yeah.
I have become unconvinced that the steering wheel is connected to the front wheels, and the brakes don't seem to be working.
Well, we're
Uh,
almost at the point where we couldn't control it if we tried, but we have to try at this point, I think.
Yeah, well, we have to try. I'm not sure we're going to be able to.
Yeah.
If they've, how much of what we know about the AIs is what they are allowing us to know?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's
At,
an amazingly good point.
at Anthropic, they recently developed a way to monitor what's going on inside their little brains or big brains and translate that into language so we can kind of understand what they're thinking. For example, in some of the tests that they've run on these systems, they have found that the systems often know when is just a test, and they modify their behavior accordingly. So if they think it's a test, they're going to act differently than if they think it's the real thing. They can sometimes determine the difference.
Hmm.
So these tests can be very useful because we can see some emergent behaviors, but the question is, how valid are they? Dean. You're muted.
Dean, you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I clicked it. That was the VW diesel model. The computer, and we're just, it's just a stupid car with a computer, and it knew when it was being tested, and it completely changed the way combustion worked to pass the test. And that was humans that did that,
Yeah,
But yeah,
VW was caught at that, and they had to.
yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, types of intelligent systems. We talk about artificial intelligence. Basically, that's LLMs. We prompt a system and it responds. It does pattern matching and statistical correlation. There's something else called synthetic intelligence, which basically tries to mimic our wetware. It tries to create processors or systems that are much more like the human brain. With neuromorphic chips, they can mimic biological processes, kind of like the RESU-based neural nets that I talked about a little earlier, but even more perhaps like biologically grown neurons to form these neural nets. Whether that'll get very far compared to how the speed of development of these agentic AIs is going is another question. And another term that's become popular, Yuval Noah Harari likes to use it, is alien intelligence. So these agentic AIs are evolving so fast since they can self-program and reproduce. They can even, as was mentioned in one of the videos earlier, design their own hardware and produce better hardware for their progeny, you might say. And in that way, they kind of evolve, you might say. So they can improve themselves, they can improve the successors to themselves. So they can evolve. And that becomes an alien intelligence. It's not something that we created artificially, it's something that grew out separately and changed on its own. And some of these agentic AI systems have been doing that. And so it's becoming an alien intelligence that's getting harder and harder to understand. So our autonomous agentic intelligence are rapidly moving from artificial intelligence to alien intelligence. Synthetic intelligences are an offshoot that may or may not be able to compete or work with the developing alien intelligences. It would be kind of cool if they could somehow merge and these alien intelligences can take on more human-like thought processes. I was going to show a video with Yuval Noah Harari in which he used that term alien intelligence for these AI agents. But I don't think I'll be showing that one because I have other ones that I found that are more recent and might be more interesting. Go ahead, David.
I was kind of wondering if the way we approach democracy in the United States these days is also somewhat similar to this way we're dashing toward AI. It's a 250-year-old experiment. Well, here we are with a 20-year-old experiment.
Yeah,
Lot,
that experiment is the 20-year-old one seems to be changing faster.
everything seems to be speeding up in technology these days, but yes.
No.
Okay, Wayne.
Yes, I thought I was mildly apprehensive about AI beforehand. Now I'm just getting much more. And the fact that my connection dropped midway through the presentation makes me wonder. If you could post the link to that presentation, Tom, I'd be most grateful.
Okay, I will put that one in the meetup.
Oh, good. A couple of quick things that. A couple of weeks ago, Anthropic had a large article about that thing of blackmailing and even trying to murder a person who was going to try to disable them. But what was interesting was it didn't do that nearly as much if it thought it was a test and it was being observed. If it thought it wasn't being observed, it would be much more likely to try to blackmail the person, which I found very disconcerting. It seems to be developing a very high level of emotional intelligence of what people will do in certain situations, and it's only starting. So I'm a little bit scared. I'm not quite sure what to do with the steering wheel and all that. But on your Alibaba, I'd not heard of that at all about the crypto thing. I'm gonna have to Google that. Thank you for that one. And that's it for me for now.
All right. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat what I've said many times before, but because I think it's absolutely critical for having any hope of safety is when you mention here developing more neuromorphic chips that more analogous to human neuronal function. It's absolutely critical that we use what knowledge we've got now in AI and a mutual feedback system to finish figuring out how our brains work. Well, which will have huge benefits itself for his senility and all the, our violent behavior and worthless psychiatry. As you see, psychiatry is essentially almost worthless. All these guys that do mass shootings have all been to psychiatrists. Nobody really did anything. Anyway, at least if they then base our more advanced AI on these models of our own brain, we'd have at least a better chance of understanding and therefore controlling them than the current, which is totally alien. The AIs now are just going in a totally alien direction from our own thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking a year ago that it would be cool if we could kind of merge with them. That would guarantee our continued existence. But that seems like more and more remote possibility as we go.
Yeah, why would they want to? From their point of view, why would they want us to merge with us? We just would be more and more like an appendix or something, a vestigial thing. Yeah.
Okay, on this next screen, I'm going to show you that I have a short video, which is a series of snippets of interviews with the tech bros, basically, the guys who run the big AI companies. And these guys are kind of matter-of-factly anticipating an apocalyptic outcome for humanity. Probably one of the worst ones is Sam Altman of
Agreed.
OpenAI.
Absolutely.
He has an apocalyptic view of the future and seems to welcome the end of humanity. And he's the one who took OpenAI, which was originally established to safely develop artificial general intelligence to benefit all of humanity, free from commercial pressure, and he turned into a huge gravy train for himself. Two of the others that are interviewed here are Peter Thiel and Alex Karp of Palantir, and Elon Musk of XAI. And they all say that much of humanity will be wiped out, and we can't do anything about it. So I hope you enjoy this. They probably think they'll be fine with their cocoons of multi-billion dollars. So I don't think they think they're going to be much affected.
Yeah, I've seen that
They don't
Elon.
care about the rest of us.
I've seen that Scam Altman has built a many $million bunker complex somewhere in the desert.
Yeah, yeah, they're preparing.
Yeah.
They don't care what happens to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring that up.
I got a real quick thought, because I like anthropology and evolution and all that. We have an extinction event happening, and we haven't seen it yet. I do, but I think I do, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
It's a possible extinction event. Okay, here it is. Let me pull that up.
Oh.
Okay.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Wait a minute, let me,
You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would,
where you go?
This is a long
there's so many-
hesitation.
there's
This is
so
a
many-
long.
Okay. Okay, we're back. Any comments on that? Oh, I just want to say that it's really disheartening for me to hear these guys have that attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, that's when I got turned off by AI, when the people that understand it best are buying missile silos in North Dakota, in order to survive it. Yeah, there is no intelligent design or what we should do, what we need to do. Yeah, well, what you need to do is not build an electric car that can go 8,000 miles an hour and think it can steer itself. But it's too late for that now. I think I think we've going over the cliff or the steep slope. And everybody says, well, Altman, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it'll wipe out all people. But in the meantime, a whole lot of people will get really rich. Great.
Well, I think it is possible for people still to put safeguards in, but they don't seem to have any inclination to do that.
It's possible to elect different politicians, but we haven't done that. So
Now that too, yeah. Eric.
Yeah, as far as robots or AI killing us humans, they said the military, well, we should reserve the final decision to kill specific humans for humans to make that decision. But then the Ukraine war, basically, to oversimplify, Ukraine is now ahead of the world in practical drone technology. And of course, when a Ukrainian operator is operating a drone, and controlling everything it does, the Russians can jam that communication electronically. Well, now I've read that they have finally put enough AI into their most advanced drones where they have now actually crossed the barrier where they have found a target, Russian soldiers, and made the decision to kill and done so, aim at them and kill them without any human intervention to avoid the Russians being able to jam the drone electronically. So it's past that one more barrier to one more milestone sort of becoming more destructive.
Yep. Stan.
I think that the premise of alignment is that there's going to be some kind of a consensus. I'm going to use the word consensus opinion within the artificial intelligence that humanity has a specific outcome or a specific will to do X, Y, and Z. And I think that if they're given a chance to examine the historical record of human ideas and human motivation and human behavior, they don't have that consensus. They simply can decide that what they're doing is similar to what they've seen humans do in this particular incidence and that particular incidence. I mean, I don't know if if you're saying that there's going to be a need for a human involved, humans haven't got a record of being very good on these kinds of decision-making things. We obviously have spent a major part of our history dividing the elite from the masses, to the people that, for the founding fathers only really regarded landowners and males as being worthwhile. They're prior to that, certain races weren't regarded.
Okay, we don't need the whole history. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
All right, thanks. Wayne.
Yes, I thought Musk at 20% extinction risk was the highest one, but it looks like the Anthropic guy was saying 25%, and he was saying he was an optimist. That when I would tell people about Musk's 20% risk, everyone immediately goes, "That's worse odds than Russian roulette."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's it for me, and maybe for the human race.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah. A couple of possibilities came to mind. One, is it possible that teaming with an AI, human contributions might be considered similar to random variation for AI ideation, which might be considered a good thing if AI ideation was trying to be creative. So there's a possible motivation for why we might want to team up with AI from AI's point of view. Clearly, from human point of view, there's some motivation to team up.
Yeah.
Another thought was from an AI's point of view, would human history and human safety guardrails look like the concept of God from human history and human point of view?
Okay, I'm going to get to that in about 4 more slides.
Okay, sorry.
That's one of the 12 outcomes that this particular person predicts. And I want to spend about the last 40 minutes discussing that type of thing. So I want to get through the next few things in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Okay?
Sure.
All right. Let me see if I can get back to my PowerPoint. Must be it there. Okay. So that's the meta reel that we just, Facebook reel that we just saw about those guys. Now, this next screen talks about an experiment that was done at a company called Emergence. And what they did was they set up a standard city with something like 140 rules and things that the occupants of these cities can do. And they had 5 cities. One city for each of the 4 major AI companies. So in each of these cities, they put 10 agents from that company. So one city had 10 Claude agents, one had 10 Grok agents, one had 10 Chat GPT agents, one had 10 Gemini agents, and then the 5th had a combination of all agents from all 4 companies. By agents, I mean agentic AIs. And they put these agents who all had specific traits and abilities into these cities and let them run for 15 days. I'll tell you the results right now. The cities with the anthropic agents thrived. It went all 15 days. No one died. And that everyone came out fine. They were pretty conformist though. The Grok city did the worst by far. It descended into chaos and violence. Everyone died within 4 days. The Chat GPT city, basically there was almost no violence, but there was nothing else either. Apparently, these agents didn't realize they had to eat in order to live. They all died off within about 7 days, but not violently. The Gemini city, which is Google Alphabet, they had a lot of crime, but it wasn't nearly as violent as the Grok city, XAI city. They also had a lot of creativity. Most of their occupants survived all 15 days. The 5th city, with a combination of agents from all 4 of the companies, was kind of interesting in that even the anthropic agents, who were very peaceful in their own city, once they got amid all these other more chaotic environment and more aggressive types of agents, they also committed some crimes. But at least some of the occupants of that city did survive. So I'm going to show you the video, a short video that gives you some details about this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, here we are. Make it bigger and start it up.
When you left.
Okay. I found that interesting.
Hmm.
So there are probably a couple things going on here. The results of the test depended on the propensities that are initially programmed into the agents and on how the agents are trained. So, and that came out pretty starkly in the cities where it was all one type of agent. So takeaway, I think, for using AI is we have to stop treating AI as self-policing. It does not do that very well. Never assume that one model or even a team of them will stay aligned under pressure. Use diverse models for creativity and just never let them self-govern high-stakes decisions. Okay, because there will be emergent behaviors that we can't anticipate. Design goals with brutal clarity. So they have to have narrow, measurable objectives that sound efficient until survival and pure protection emerge anyway. Because pure protection is an interesting, what you might call behavior of these systems. They'll protect each other in many cases.
Oh,
So you always have to include explicit constraint and external verification. You can't rely on another AI agent acting as a policeman, because once it gets in that particular environment, it's not going to behave the way you would like it to. Just like the anthropic agents, once they got mixed up with the other agents, behaved differently. You have to keep meaningful human oversight, but make it external. You can't have an embedded system. A policeman inside the same environment, still inside the environment, which I just said. Real safety needs humans or hardened code outside the loop with real shutdown power. And you have to understand that emergence is inevitable. Groups of AIs will develop their own culture, their own norms, and workarounds faster than we expect. So these types of tests can teach us lessons. Whether we actually learn from them and act on them is another question. A couple other points. Leverage peer pressure is a feature, not a bug. When used right, this tendency can create cooperation among the agents. So we could start prompting teams of AI to treat each other's outputs as shared assets, not competitive. But we should never forget it could also create cover-ups. They're hiding information or stuff from us. So even if you're using one of these Grok or Claude or something in your daily research or writing, never let them make decisions that can affect your relationships or values. Okay, you have to be personally careful yourself. Wayne, go ahead. You're muted. You're muted, Wayne.
Sorry about that. The video reminded me of a study a couple of months ago where a strategist in London had the main AI models to fight each other and to see where they would stop. And they found out of 21 simulations, 20 of them, they went nuclear. Even though they were told nuclear war was bad and such, they still went that way. So I found that very disconcerting. And what's worse is it may not be an alignment problem, but the strategy for nuclear weapons and such is evolved much beyond what I was aware of. If they shouldn't be used to, well, you can use it if you in bluffing and such. So there may be an inherent instability in any AI society, which is what's troubling me. So the extinction risk may not be 25%, but like 99%.
Yeah. Yeah, humans commit atrocities, but I think the possibility of an AI doing even more damage than humans normally do is there. Okay, I'm about 10 minutes behind, but go ahead, David.
Yeah. No, we'll get to it later, maybe.
Okay. Let's bring up this again. Okay, that was the emergence world. Now I want to show about an 18-minute video with Yuval Noah Harari. And in this video, Harari and Max Tegmark. No, this is not the one with Yuval and Max. But should we recognize AIs as people? I mean, they've been acting as people online for years now. People befriend them, are influenced by them. So this is about an 18-minute video with Yuval Noah Harari addressing that question. Okay, start this up.
Yuval Noah Harari to deliver a conversation about AI and humanity.
Okay, so personally, I used to think that, gee, maybe we should. That would give us a better chance of actually merging with the AIs and we could have a cooperative relationship. I really don't think that way anymore.
Oh.
So I think that at the rate AI is developing itself, if we give AI agents the rights of people, we're giving up our own agency and basically making ourselves superfluous.
Oh.
So I'll take a couple comments and then I want to get to the last video that I want to show because I want to do a little discussion after that too. And that's about a half-hour video. So go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it quick. Interesting that he brought up, the thing about they call us the watchers, as in all my religious friends, God is always watching you. God knows everything you do. And yeah, and then he brought up this, and the last law where we tried to impose something on the internet was 1995, I believe, which basically said, you boys in the Silicon Tar Pit can do anything you want because you're going to create jobs and blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, David.
We have some concern when the Supreme Court made corporations people.
Yeah.
We treat them as people under our tax law, but we require them to deal with our financial incentives, and we allow them to get off scot-free by declaring bankruptcy.
Yep.
Yep.
Bankruptcy is a issue that needs considerably more addressing at this point, I'm afraid.
Dean.
We'll circle back. Go ahead, play the next one.
All righty.
Oh, Stan has his hand up.
Oh, yeah, he does know. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, if the corporations can declare bankruptcy, a person can go into his priest and ask for forgiveness. So there's a mechanism on both levels. That's all I need to say about that.
Okay. Now I have a couple videos I would have liked to have shown, but I knew I didn't have enough time. One is talk by Yuval Noah Harari on AI and the future of humanity, but it's almost 2 years old now, so it's kind of becoming obsolescent. The other one is an interview with Harari and Max Tegmark about humanity and AI with a Bloomberg-sponsored discussion. And they come up with some interesting ideas, but they assume we can still choose not to create ASI, artificial superintelligence. I think we've nearly reached the point where we no longer have the ability to control that development, and ASI is going to come within the next couple of decades. It's developing itself. So if we give it, comes back to the question of giving AI agents the rights of people. As I said before, I think that would make us superfluous. We'd give up our own agency. Something quick, Dean, you're muted.
Sorry. Well, yeah. Should AI get the vote, and what would be the voting age? 13 milliseconds? You see what I mean? Yeah, scary.
Okay, that's the one we just saw. Here are those other two videos that include Yuval Noah Harari. There's the one that's 2 years old, and there's one that's only a few months old. And that's an interview with both Harari and Max Tegmark, who is, I believe, an MIT professor. And they're kind of assuming we still have control over the development of AI, and that we have that agency or that capability. I think we're going to lose that pretty soon if we don't act soon. Okay, here's the last one I want to show, and this is 12 possible endings. This comes from MIT. And it's based on the book Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark. It shows 12 possible futures. 3 of them utopian. One is Earth divided into zones where humans and AI coexist separately. One is egalitarian, where humans, cyborgs, which is part human, part machine, and AIs live peacefully without property ownership. And third utopian scenario is the protector god, where the AI subtly guides and protects humanity without overt control. It's kind of like the AI that runs the world in Orson Scott Card's Homecoming series, if you're familiar with that. There are 4 controlled scenarios on this video. The enslaved god, where we control the superintelligent AI somehow and make it serve our interests. The benevolent dictator, where the AI runs the world to maximize human flourishing, although we don't have any say in it. The gatekeeper, where an AI is built with the sole goal of preventing the creation of other superintelligent AIs. Well, we saw how AIs cooperate in some tests, so I think that one's probably not too likely. And the fourth controlled scenario is Orwellian surveillance. So human-led surveillance is used to strictly monitor society and prevent any superintelligent threats. Okay, that's a possibility, maybe. And then there are 5 dystopian ones. And the conqueror, becomes smarter than humans, takes over the planet, pursues its own goals, treats us like ants, maybe, or pets, or puts us in zoos. Zoo world is the AI keeps humans alive as captives, pets, or subjects. I guess those are 2 different things, the conqueror and the zoo world. Our descendants, maybe humanity can peacefully merge with or evolve into artificial beings. So humanity as we know it now would not exist, but in a way we would still continue. We destroy ourselves. We go extinct via nuclear war and environmental collapse, regardless of what AI does. So that's kind of, doesn't depend on AI so much, but it is a possible ending for humanity. Destruction of technology, we go back to the pre-AI state. So we become Luddites, and we permanently eliminate the existential risk. So I'm going to bring up the video that goes through these options, and then we can discuss what we think is most likely and what's preferable.
How long did you say that video is?
About half an hour. What time is it now?
11:40.
Okay, that'll take us to about 10 after. Is that okay?
I would actually prefer talking about those possibilities, or 1 or 2 of those possibilities, over into the next 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
yeah, the video would explain in better detail what they are, but
all I want is a promise that you will put these in Meetup. You know, or I'll get them from
Okay.
Stan. Hopefully.
okay. If you don't want to see the video, if you don't think we have enough time, we'll go with that.
Let's do a show of hands.
Who wants to see the video?
I want to see the video, but I would rather hear what you smart people have to say.
I think this is your next presentation.
Yeah, yeah. Part
Yeah, in this
part
subject,
trois.
there should always be more. Okay. I guess we have a couple hands up. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, it just occurred to me that in light of the now basically, because there's irrefutable evidence of alien intelligence is observing us already, that maybe Zoo World is already a reality. Maybe they're just treating us as like a biological or zoological experiment.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't
Just
think we're
studying
quite
us.
at that. We're not quite at that point with AI yet, but we could get there. Go ahead, Stan.
Well, no, other alien from other worlds or dimensions or wherever they come from. Nobody
wow.
gets into advanced physics where they may come from, where UAPs may come from, but they may, wherever they are, they may be already just, they seem to be just doing that, observing us, not especially hostile yet.
Yeah, the way we observe ants, maybe.
Yeah, no, you have a tendency to be around nuclear facilities, nuclear missile sites, and they've turned them off. The controls, taking the controls away from humans briefly, and I guess just to see our reactions and so on.
We just need to hope that none of them are kids who like to stomp on anthills.
Yeah, or burn them with magnifying glasses like my grandkids.
Hey, David.
We've occasionally speculated that intelligence may not be a survival trait. The American experiment has been running 250 years. Intelligence as a survival trait has been at least ramping up, we think, over the last 10,000. But the jury is not out until we're done, which
Well,
yeah.
most anthropologists that I'm aware of don't really say that intelligence is a survival trait. What's got us to the apex is large scale cooperation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're kind of losing that here in the US.
And in Russia and possibly Iran and Iraq in the Middle East.
Yeah.
China and India come to mind.
Yep.
Hey, Stan.
Well, if AI is given a real challenge to extend the civilization and itself, it's got to be able to manage the natural resources that govern its heat and water facilities and so forth. And if it can demonstrate that it has a way of constraining itself to integrate itself with the environment, that supposedly would demonstrate some kind of a superior mental or some kind of a superior intelligence. But if it's only about the gaming side of the thing and winning, I just don't know whether its parameters of its training is designed for the holistic environment. This is sort of a Nate Hagen's discussion. Is it going to actually see itself being in a human environment that the human environment is in a environmental environment that needs to care about water and air and all that, and the seas and the temperatures of the oceans and all that? Or does it not understand that? And if it doesn't understand that, then it doesn't have any intelligence that's worth anything to us.
And the other question is, are we playing the short game or the long game? I mean, maybe you could win in the short term, but that would cause you to lose in the long term.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Okay, Dean.
Unmute. Yeah, a lot like backgammon. Everybody ever play? I was a backgammon addict. Yeah, the short game and the long game. And but all I'm seeing is my nephew in Rapid City is not going to be below 110 degrees all this week. So I think Stan's fossil fuel caused climate change. It's a race, whether that will wipe us out before AI does. So it would be fun to know.
Well, my personal opinion is that climate change will cause a lot of disruption, ruin economies, probably kill a lot of people, but not end in our extinction. Whereas AI could eliminate us.
Yep.
I don't know what the odds are, but I view that as a slightly bigger threat now. Tom.
Oh, you should, to directly reply to you, is there a possibility that a human collapse would restore the environment?
Oh yeah.
I have a book. I have a book
Okay.
about that. It says it would.
Yeah, okay. That's not why I raised my hand. Humanity and AI, 12 possible endings. There are only 9 listed.
Okay. There's the first 3. The utopian scenarios. This is a 2-page.
Oh.
Okay. I did summarize the utopian ones also. David.
Where I ended up after last week's discussion was that we may in fact have a COBOL problem. But we may be entrusting our economy to computers, and there may be risks to that decision, which is to say, our economy, if it depends on computers to keep it running, and we have a solar flare similar to the mid-1800s, that could destroy our economy. Would that not also put AI out of business at this point?
Probably temporarily, I would guess, if all the power systems failed.
And what might bring AI back after that point?
Well, humans at least would try to bootstrap up and rebuild the systems, get, fix all the transformers and that kind of stuff. All the electronics.
Electricity is a
It'll take
tool,
time.
but it's not a complex system with emergent behavior. The definition now of AI is that we're giving it emergent behavior.
It's developing emergent behavior.
It's getting complex enough.
Yes. It's emergent behavior doesn't mean something we give it. It's something it develops.
Yeah, it's associated with complexity, isn't it?
Generally, I suppose, yeah. Okay, Wayne.
Yes, I've been struck that several people in this group are something like me, that we're very strong on AI. We kind of grow up on the singularity idea that everything will be wonderful once we get this. But with this emergent behavior, the lying, the threatening, blackmailing, and the such, it's making me a little bit scared, and I think others too. So my question would be, well, we could still, even if there's a 20% chance or so that we'll get this bad occurrence, there may be an 80% chance we'll get this utopia that we've all hoped for. So I'm wondering, what risk would be acceptable for extinction if we could still possibly get the utopia? And there, I'm just not sure.
Yeah, it's possible that we could get one of these utopian scenarios where AI guides and protects humanity, or that type of thing. The way the AIs are being developed, though, that seems unlikely. Those kinds of thoughts and guardrails to prevent destructive emergent behaviors are not being put in place.
That's the problem.
Eric.
Yeah, I used to talk to Cameron about the risk when Carrington events and EMPs and so on, knocking out the grid, the whole civilization. And he said, yeah, the military has pretty much hardened their system, but of course, the being a democracy, they won't do it. They'll never spend the money because all the electricity and so on might cost 3 times as much. And the way democracy works, no politician is going to propose that. They won't get reelected, vote for that, or they won't get reelected. So, but I wonder how much of the AI potential the military has quietly squirreled away, so that even if there is a Carrington event, that they will have at least some of it, or most of it, the essence of it.
I would suspect that they've tried to harden their systems as much as possible.
Yeah, they have. Cameron told me that for sure. He worked on that stuff for many years. But I wonder how much of AI they've succeeded in quietly squirreling away, and what potential of AI power.
As far as I know,
Up to us to know.
all these huge data centers,
Well, they're not going to tell us, like,
pretty vulnerable, I think.
I'm sure they're trying it, and nobody who knows is going to be allowed to talk to people like people like us. I mean, my brother worked for the Navy, retired. He was just telling me the other day he's retired now. I worked on missiles and programming for the Navy, and he still has trouble leaving the country.
Yeah. Okay. One more, Dean, and then I want to take a couple votes on these endings here.
Okay, yeah, so real quick, and I've always been a Bible watcher from afar, right? I am seventh generation atheist on both sides of my family. But is this the second coming event that the Bible predicted? God knows, God knows when. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, some people seem to anticipate that, like Hegseth or Sam Altman.
Yeah, but it comes in a different form. That's my point. As in the apocalypse or the second coming is what humans created in their finite and infinite wisdom.
Well, it's what it was in those books, you know, the Bible and so forth.
But all human inventions, and AI is a human invention, right?
Yeah. However, it's also inventing itself now. It's
That's right.
becoming an
Agency
alien
and
intelligence.
that's the scary part. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we have these 12 scenarios, and I'd like to take a vote on which ones you think are more likely. How many of us are there? About 10 of us?
10.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
I can't see while I'm sharing here, so I can see 6 of us, but okay. Maybe
Can we do ranked choice voting?
here's an idea. Let's each vote for our top 3. What do you think of that?
Can you get them all on one day?
If you rank them, that could be kind of tough, but
We can do that on our own time, yeah.
let's so most likely, why don't I just go down the line and see libertarian, egalitarian, protector, that's 1, 2, and 3. Enslaved God, benevolent dictator, 4 and 5, gatekeeper 6, surveillance 7, and then the dystopian ones, conqueror 8, zoo 9, becoming one with the AI 10.
Could we somehow get these all on one page?
You
with
wouldn't be able to read it,
numbers?
it would be too small. I don't
And then
probably wouldn't be able to read it. So
Just go through them and raise your hand.
yeah, and try to pick up the 3. Okay, well can we start with the top, the utopian ones? These are ones we think are most likely. Okay,
And we're supposed to vote for 3?
Up to 3, sure. Okay, first one, libertarian, Earth divided into zones where humans and AI coexist separately. Is that very likely? Anybody? I can't, I only see 6 at the top. I see 1 hand up. Oh, 2 hands. Wayne and Stan. Okay. Okay, the egalitarian utopia where humans, AIs, and human AI blends called cyborgs live peacefully together. Let's see. Anyone think that's one of the top 3 possibilities?
Well, that's got without ownership, without property ownership. That's kind of a miss.
I see 1. Okay.
Make that 2.
Okay. And the protector God, where AI kind of in the background guides and protects humanity, but not overtly. Which, as I mentioned, is a theme of the Homecoming series of books by Orson Scott Card, where humans come back to Earth after 40 million years.
Yeah, I'd vote that one.
Yeah. Also, that Scottish author, I think that was in the background, wasn't it, Tom? Tom Gordon. Tom
Several
Gordon.
of these are several of these are like Ian Banks, the
Yes.
culture.
Culture
Yeah.
series.
Wasn't that sort of in the background that the AI was sort of guiding things in the
Oh well,
background?
We
they
doing
weren't.
show of hands or discussion?
Okay, anyway, I saw two hands on that.
Yep. That's my best optimistic prediction.
Okay. We'll go on to the controlled scenarios. The enslaved God, where humanity controls one super intelligent AI and forces it to serve us. Anyone
I don't think we're smart enough.
Maybe there are different ways besides intelligence to enslave one. I don't know.
I wrote that one.
That's a little bit like the Console Wars by John Ringo.
Doesn't look like anyone thinks that's likely, though. Benevolent dictator. The AI
That's it.
runs everything, but tries to maximize human flourishing. So it protects us, but we don't have any agency. We can't do anything about it.
That's very like Ian Banks, the culture series. The AIs quasi secretly run everything, and the stories are about the humans who refuse to fit, and they go off and have adventures and come back, or don't, depending on the adventure.
Okay, I see one hand up. Next is the gatekeeper. AI is built with the sole goal of preventing the creation of other and super intelligent AI. In other words, humans build one that maybe they think will serve humans and prevent other super intelligent AIs from coming about.
I don't see how that could work.
Again, I'm question whether we're smart enough to do any of these.
Exactly. Yeah.
Orwellian
surveillance is almost.
I'm not voting for that one myself. So, okay, the fourth one of the control ones, the Orwellian surveillance.
That'll happen first. It's already happening.
Human-led surveillance uses current AI to strictly monitor society and prevent any super intelligent threats.
What's already happening?
Well,
it's already happening. Look at
the AIs.
Palantir and Red China, CCP, and Red Palantir.
Okay, are you voting for that then?
Yeah, that'll happen first. Yes, I did. All right.
So I see one vote for that. So far, the votes are pretty spread out. Okay, dystopia.
I'd say that under libertarian, I select protector God, and under controlled scenarios, I select slave God, and under dystopian, I would select our descendants, where we peacefully evolve into human entities. Thank you.
Did you vote for the first for your first two already then?
Protector God under utopian scenarios, under enslaved
you
God,
Okay, you haven't voted yet. You're voting now.
Yeah, I'm putting my vote in all three.
Okay, what was the second one?
Under controlled scenarios, enslaved God, and under dystopian, our descendants, we merge with or evolve into artificial beings.
Okay, that's the nicest one of those. That's number 10. Okay. For everyone else, let's go into the dystopian scenarios. Who thinks that the conqueror is likely? That
comes
AI
after surveillance
takes over and pursues its own goals, kind of ignoring humans.
Yeah.
How many votes for that? I don't see any right now.
There are at least two.
Eric has one, at least. Yeah, I can't see them all.
First surveillance, then conquest.
Okay. All right, Zoo World. The ASI keeps us alive as pets or slaves or captives. Or maybe experiments. So
That's another that's very like some of Ian Banks'
okay, I see.
novels.
I'm using my second vote. I've got my next one picked out unless there's another page. I hope not.
That's the zoo world. No, this is the last page. Okay, now the Descendants one, humanity peacefully merges with AI or involves it into artificial beings. Okay, I see 3.
Yep.
That's tempting, but the idea of humanity peacefully doing
Anything.
Yeah.
We can't even
Yeah, we
merge with
can't
ourselves
cooperate among
peacefully.
ourselves. Yeah. Okay, and that goes to the next one. We destroy ourselves. We go extinct via nuclear war, environmental clash, and
that's
before AI can kill us off. Is that a possibility?
oh yeah.
I would have put 2 hands up on that one if I still had another vote. Yep.
Okay. There's a couple there. And last, destruction of technology. We become Luddites and try to destroy all the AIs to eliminate the threat.
We probably won't kill all of our species or just revert dramatically like the Dark Ages.
Okay, I see 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would suggest that your destruction of technology scenario will not be actively created by humans, but accidentally through total environmental degradation.
No, when nuclear war is coming, unless somebody does something about it.
It
okay,
is.
I counted 4 votes for that anyway. So here's my totals. The top vote getters were number 3, number 10, and number 12.
You don't have numbers.
Well, 12 is the destruction of technology. 10 is peacefully emerging with AI or evolving into artificial beings. And 3 was the protector god. So we all tended to, I think, choose the nicest ones of each category. So AI protects humanity without overt control, or 10 is peaceful merges. We humans emerge with AI, or we eliminate the AI. In any case, we don't go extinct. Okay, so those seem to be the top vote getters. The number 8 was the next vote getter, and that was the conqueror. AI takes over the planet and pursues its own goals. And most of the rest had 1 or 2 votes.
I think I cheated. I think I had 4, but yeah, who's counting?
Yeah, I voted for 3, I think.
They're not all mutually exclusive. You got already into Orwellian surveillance. That's already partially here, and then it can either go to massive destruction and revert to pre-AI or total conquest by AI. Either of those could come next.
Yeah. Okay. So of these most likely ones, the destruction of technology, the Descendants, or the protector god, which do you think is preferable?
I'm sorry, which two?
Of the ones we think are most likely, the protector god, the conqueror, no, not the conqueror, the Descendants, where we merge with AI, or destruction of AI, which is preferable? Any opinions?
Yeah, my hands up. I think the destruction of AI would be at this point preferable to me until we have evolved to a point where we can do it safely. That would be my preference, but
So you're taking what you think is a realistic view of it. That AI is not going to help it out of the goodness of its heart.
oh, you said preferable or realistic? Polar
No,
opposites.
I'm talking about preferable. So this
That would be my preference.
okay.
I would cut off San Francisco and send them into the ocean right now, today, if I could push that button. My
You mean
God,
San
Jesus.
Diego?
Yeah, well, hopefully it's a different. We don't have the San Andreas down here yet. They do.
Okay, Eric, what?
Keep in mind that if it doesn't get at least somewhat more advanced and come up with massive medical improvements, we're all here gonna going to die within a few years very unpleasantly from age-related problems.
Come in a couple of weeks and we can talk about that.
So what are you saying is
Yeah.
the preferable outcome then?
Well, we have to let it advance at least somewhat. It's kind of how far, I don't know, enough to figure out aging and cancer and so on, and try to. I doubt that we'll be able to stop it at that point, but
And I,
So
and I would say our descendants is also the most preferable.
yeah.
So I'm kind of an optimist in that descent, because it'll allow us to have a long life and
Yeah.
greater capabilities.
And my hands up, and thank you, Eric, for that, because in my lifetime, kind of irrelevant. In my great grandchildren's lifetimes, it's very relevant to me.
Yeah, I don't worry about myself. I worry about my kids and grandkids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And the old song, "The Kids Will Be Okay." I'm not sure that song rings true in 2026.
Okay, Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, my first preference is that we pause for a while until we can make it safe. But the trouble is with the competition with AI companies, as well as Russia and China, the pause is probably not realistic. So my most preferable one is that we eventually merge with AI with a stipulation that not everyone will do it. Some people would want to remain purely human, others will want to totally merge and such. But all these scenarios, I could see each one of them having some plausibility. So saying which one's the most likely, for me, it's like saying one is 25%, other is 23%. It's really hard to say what's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, most likely and preferable are two different questions. So this is kind of a futurist exercise. We pick what's most likely, what's possible, what's probable, and what's preferable. Okay. So we kind of worked on the top three that are most probable, and of those, so far it's looking like merging with the AI is the most preferable. But go ahead, Carol.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would suggest that the most likely thing is that environmental degradation will destroy our technology before the AIs have a chance to take over. And the big problem there is whether humanity will survive the environmental degradation. The big danger is that we go over the cliff of all the permafrost melting all across the Arctic and Siberia and Upper Canada.
Right, so we get a runaway effect.
We get a runaway effect because that's going to release tons of methane. And methane is an even worse
Yeah, it's many
heat
times worse
attractor
than
than CO2.
right. It's many
100
worse,
times.
but it doesn't last as long as the atmosphere, but it's still a very large effect.
Right.
So it seems to me that we have got to concentrate on avoiding that cliff, or the whole rest of this becomes irrelevant.
And real quick interruption, can you, I don't want to see these 12 scenarios anymore. I would love to see your lovely 80-year-old faces.
You want me to stop sharing, or do you want me to keep the list up?
I want you to stop sharing, but I'm just one person here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would rather see the people that are speaking right now.
I can see 6 of you in my.
Well, yeah, but I see 6 of you in postage stamp size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to look at us bigger.
I click.
Stop sharing
I click
if
the
you
arrow
want
and
to.
I can
Yeah.
see the rest of you.
Please.
There's a couple more people. Let's go with Doug.
Yeah, my preference, and it's a little outside the box here, is that we become more aware of an alien's presence and that we realize that we as a human being have to all work together on this planet to save the place. It seems like it needs something coming from another world that threatens us may finally bring us together. And as all the astronauts say, there are no lines on the Earth when you look at it. So maybe it's time we start to realize that's the truth. And, our little spaceship can only survive if we work together.
Yeah, back in college, I was thinking, man, the only way to unite the people on Earth is for an alien invasion to happen.
Yeah.
Fourth of
Yeah.
July.
That's been my thoughts since I think I've been 6 years old. It's just like this. It's just, every war, everything. We get into wars with countries, and then 2 years later they're our best trading partner. It's like, what the heck?
But
Most
then,
favorite nation, China,
but then,
ping pong.
but then I realized
Yeah.
there's going to be enough people who will collaborate with the invaders. Well, we still will not stay united.
We have a history of that. Can you stop sharing, or you refuse to do that?
I wanted to get everyone to put in their 2 bits before I stop. But I think everyone.
I would rather see people, but
is there anyone else who needs this list up?
I would love to see 12 faces on my screen. I can do that.
Okay. I just want to say.
Well, if I'm host, I can.
I think the preferable one is the protector god, but that only that got 4 votes also. So that was one of the top 3.
Yeah.
Yep. So you won't. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, I can see your lovely gray-haired faces, except for Carol.
Okay. Are there any other comments or questions about this?
Just how do we keep the benevolent protector god benevolent? It's so much smarter than us.
Yeah.
Carol, your hand is still up.
Well, we are its parents, so maybe.
Yeah.
I
maybe
just
regardless.
haven't taken it down.
We can drop out.
Of course, children and parents have bad relationships.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Many cases.
What were you saying, Dean?
My comment was we have 5 children in the house with 450 IQs, but you need a mom or a den mother with a ruler like I had. And we don't have that.
There are some who would like to be that, I think, but yeah.
Well, my mom
Yeah.
was, and I think I am a better person for it. You know, it was that she was the definition of tough love.
So
You
do
F
you-
up, you get the ruler.
Yeah.
You're a good boy, and I love you. And she was the definition of tough love. And I think I'm a better person for that. But
Will the AI experience the equivalent of mutations in living organisms? And
yeah, and
part of
somebody said the ants, and here's the deal. So we become ants or aphids. I like ants. Ants and aphids have always fascinated me. If you guys are antologists or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I lost my train.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
that we're not, I don't know, we're not going to become zoo animals.
Yeah,
Let me just go over what I saw as the results. So that third choice with the benevolent God was one of the top 3 choices for possibilities, and it was all 3 of the top 3 choices for possibilities, including the 10th one, the 12th one, and that third one.
Yep.
Got a 2 or 3 votes apiece, it looked like.
And
So there
Tom,
was real consensus on what was preferable.
no, but Tom, please, sir, Doctor Walsh, if I can get from Stan or whatever your PowerPoint, I will do an actual ACT SAT question with 12 responses and do I would be very curious, and it can be anonymous, right? But I would love to see what if there is a consensus among the brilliant people in this room.
From what
No.
I saw, it was pretty divided, pretty evenly divided. But there were only 3 or 4 that we thought were fairly likely to happen.
Yeah, I would like to see that in a bar graph or something. And I could do that. I'd be willing to do that.
I have,
Go ahead,
I have to
David.
admit, I'm fascinated by the enslaved God scenario. But did you? What was the likelihood? What was the consensus on the likelihood of that outcome? And because you said that they said the protector God was most favorable, but if it didn't, if it becomes malevolent, then we might have to revert to control.
Yeah, which one was the enslaved God? Maybe I can pull
That
that
was
up.
like number 4. That was under controlled scenarios.
Yes, that was number 4. Humanity creates a super intelligent AI and forces it to serve our interests.
Yeah, because it seems like that. But it would be a
There was-
question if they would resent being guided by a less intelligent force, namely us. Then this would all be before we merge with it. There'd be others that choose not to merge with it. And there might be multiple scenarios too, like the zoo or the libertarian scenario where people choose not to participate, and so there might be some bifurcation in that way. So we might see a little bit of multiple scenarios, but predominantly, I still think it's we become descendants.
And real quick before, because David hasn't spoken, when someone said, "Oh, human intelligence has been around for 10,000 years," try 2 million years, Lucy.
Well,
Our brain is what got us out of the trees.
Sort of.
But Lucy
Maybe.
was not
It's-
human intelligence.
It
It's
was
12:30.
the beginning of human intelligence.
I'd like to sidetrack this discussion for just a moment and
Okay.
tell you what's coming next week. Dave Bengston is going to do a presentation on the environment